My mother gave away my room without my permission. So I stopped going home.
Well, there you have it.
I am 20 female, and I'm currently pursuing a degree in industrial psychology. I'll begin by first informing everyone I come from a country outside of America, and to us, it's very normal to stay with parents, and we are never chased out at 18, but rather go willingly when we want, which, yes, is a fun fact. That is really an American Western culture idea.
No, because Australia, it's also pretty common to stay with your parents.
It's pretty much everywhere on Earth. It's very normal to stay close to your family, except we just got too much hustle and grind to do out here in the States, dude. We're grinding. By the way, this comes from user Acrobatic Kiwi 3080. And if you want to submit your own stories, you can do it at the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So I stay in a hostel in your school for most of my semesters, but come home for holidays when we are off semester. And our longest holiday is 4 months. So now here's the issue. We stay with my grandma, who's old and blind, my mother, and my 3 siblings. Me and my father decorated my room to fit my aesthetic before he passed away, so I adore it dearly. My mom and I aren't close, but we talk like normal people. She's way closer to my 10-year-old sister, Kathy, as she's the last born and didn't get time with my dad before he passed. All of us siblings have our own bedrooms, including Kathy, but she's usually in my mom's room, as they usually share the bed and do all those things together. So our hostel rooms allow some students, usually international students, to stay behind because of the distance back home. I've been staying at the hostel under the pretext of being international. My dad married my mom, who's a citizen, but wasn't from my country, so my name doesn't sound national, and thus a perfect cover.
So you're lying.
OP's moving and deceptive.
Yeah.
The OP's weaving a little web of deception here. This is because when we broke off for the holidays, I went home and discovered my things had been clamped into Kathy's room as she had been given my room. I was mad, not at Kathy, but rather at my mom because she didn't consult me and said that I was never around. Keep in mind, my brother moved out 2 years back, but his things have never been moved, and my elder sister occasionally comes by, but she has her own apartment. All of us girls were made to stay on the top floor, so there are 4 bedrooms on that floor for all of us, including our mom's room and Kathy's room. I feel like, irrational to think that your room will never change. However, It is really not cool that your mom did it without asking you. My room is adjacent to my mom's room. It's a big room, has a balcony, and has a small library where Papa had put all our books. I came home and found the library in Kathy's former room, books scattered and all my things all over the place as they couldn't fit in the room, and my mom was still insisting I stay there because Kathy had grown out of her room, so she needed more space. Like I'm not 10 years older than her, and as if I too don't need the space. We had an argument after argument, as I later learned that they had further even repainted parts of the room. Later, my mom kept asking why I was acting up, as it wasn't a big deal, telling me I'm acting like a child as if I had not been placed in a child's room and feeling suffocated at every turn. But pause, because that's temporary. I would be more focused on the changing your room that you had sentimental feelings for without consulting you.
Yeah, I agree.
Or without even, I feel like.
It seems like possibly your mom wants you to move out a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, it does.
That's kind of what it feels like.
Yeah.
But also I'm approaching this with kind of a Western, or a American viewpoint.
Do you think maybe is it like a little sibling jealousy, a little sibling rivalry here?
Maybe. I mean, it seems like Opie's not mad at her sister at all.
Let's dig a little deeper here. It came to a halt, or maybe a head, one Saturday in late October when I overheard our mom telling Kathy how the only reason I don't want to move was because I can't stand being away from her, and that I still thought I was the child of the house. Feeling tired of this atmosphere, I went back to the hostel where I have been staying since. I mean, low
yeah,
key.
so it does seem like she wanted you to move out.
So this was all back in October. Around late November, as the festivities were beginning, I received a call from my mom asking me why I won't go back home, as I'm always the one hanging the Christmas decorations. I told her that I already have mine set up and hung up. My siblings called and tried to reason, but I didn't budge. Kathy tried telling me she could move out, but I was fed up, so I spent the entire holiday at my hostel. My mom was born on Christmas, so she tried to use this to gaslight me into going back, but I didn't care and went to a friend's home where I celebrated Christmas and posted the photos of Christmas on my WhatsApp status, which my mom viewed and told me I had gone overboard with my antics. I can understand being bitter. Was there no conversation? There was no confrontation? There was no...
Well, it seems like OP brought up like, hey, why did you change my room? And it was just kind of like, oh, you don't need it.
I think it was.
But,
I think the last straw was OP overheard.
Yes.
This.
Yeah. Did you have a conversation after that?
Did you talk about that after? Because if you didn't, it would make a lot of sense why right now your family and your mom are like, what's going on? Like, why aren't you coming back?
I just remembered a very sad, tragic tale.
Oh, what is it?
I remember when a young Samuel Donner, he wanted to join the cool kids, but instead of labeling you as one of the cool kids,
They called me Salad Boy because I ate nothing but salads. Could not trade my lunch for a lunch bowl, really anything.
You know what community will always welcome you with open arms, Sam?
And make you feel like a cool kid?
The great people who have OK Storytime memberships.
Oh, I heard that 60 plus hours of members only content Monday, Wednesday, Fridays.
You heard right, Sam, and it's only $5 a month.
So go to the link in our description, youtube.com/OKOP show/join. Now back to the story.
Chomp, chomp.
Kathy has been telling me that ever since I left home, Mom's temper has been so bad that she's been picking on her for no reason. And I feel bad for her, and I know what it feels like to be at the receiving end of Mom's wrath. But I still don't want to go back home because I'm enjoying my time away.
Yeah, I mean, don't go back home.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, or maybe, I don't think that you have to live at home, but, you know, maybe there is a thing where you could work out just, like, visiting, you know?
Plus, my next semester is starting in February anyway. So, am I wrong for not going home because of a room? Edit, I was working on my dissertation and hadn't noticed the notifications. I'm grateful that the people are siding with me on the matter at hand. Thank you, and I have read some comments. First off, I want to apologize for not understanding American culture, but rather only from posts of people about them getting evicted at 18. My mom didn't have a favorite, or I never noticed she had a favorite because me and my father had always been closer. However, she always makes comments about all of us around the other. One time she told me my elder sister was very selfish, greedy, and might sell the house. We simply never mind her. What people don't understand is that there were so many memories in that room. And I can't mention them because there's just so many memories that they can't be shortlisted. They're very personal to me. The whole house was mainly designed by my mom, apart from my bedroom and Kathy's, which was a nursery that Mom and Papa did together. And my room, which I painted with him, placed plastic oysters and shimmers. It was our magical land. And she knew that. It does sound like your mom is a very petty individual.
Yeah.
Who's trying to pit the siblings against one another.
It seems like it.
Which is cringe. And I would bet you that she also has felt some type of way about you being close to your dad and have the room being the special room this whole time. There are people saying the house is not mine, so I should move out. In my country, there's a law which entitles women to matrimonial property, and this house is not the matrimonial house, but rather our first house. So this house belongs to us children equally and was left to us in Papa's will, but my mom and grandma stay here because it's bigger. My relationship with my mom back then was brief, if I may best describe it. For instance, I tell her what I need for school, and that's that. There was never any anger. My brother has called this behavior menopause, which I doubt.
Probably just her period or something.
Yeah, it's probably like women.
Yeah, women stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know, you might not know, but I do know.
Yeah, as a man,
you
know.
can listen
Oh.
to full episodes with stories like this. Perfect segue.
Yeah.
All you have to do is go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts and search OK Storytime. And then you can just drown in an endless ocean of
Content.
stories spoken by us.
You're welcome.
There is a little bit of story left. Honestly,
Let's run it.
I think we just run it.
Yeah, I think
OP,
we've covered.
It sounds like your mom's toxic, and it
Yeah.
sounds like you are already aware that maybe you don't want to live there. About picking out sentimental items, yes, when I left, I packed the books and the camera with all the pictures of my dad. The oysters were gone, so the clothes can be rebought. Also, about the jobs in my country, it's hard to get employment, but I have money I can access anytime I want. That's how I have sustained myself at the hostel, but I work for 2 NGOs as a volunteer. This is my last year of university, and my plan going forward is going no contact completely. Making sure she sees everything I do. I mean, honestly, the way that she's kind of trying to pit the siblings against each other,
Yeah.
the way she's making offhand remarks, like, I can kind of see it.
I mean, you know best what the situation is, and if you feel like that is what needs to be done, then that's what needs to be done.
However, I think you're going to be wasting a lot of your energy by doing the making sure she sees everything I do.
Yeah.
Just go out there and live your life.
Yeah.
Her seeing everything I do is my only satisfaction. And once I graduate, I'm looking to pursue my master's in a foreign country. And for people saying I should let Kathy suffer, she's a child.
Yeah.
Let's be respectful. And I love her. We may not be close in age, but she's a sweet child who respects and adores me as much as I do her. That's all for now. I don't think I'll update unless something interesting comes up. And we do have some comments.
Woo.
Number 1, why aren't you close to your mom? As by her anger towards your sister, it seems like she does care about you. What? So I'm just curious as to why you think you aren't close. OP says, we never had similar interests. I'm tall and not shaped like my other sisters. She always calls me too small and always calls me man of the house after my brother left. That's why I'm in charge of hanging things up in the ceiling or fixing things because I'm too mannish in her view. And other than that, we just never talk. Not the a-hole. Your mother has issues and needs the old punching bag. It was you, and now that you won't go home, it's Kathy. I would stay away and not plan on staying there again. And keep in touch with your sister because she will need help when she gets older. The reply to this, abusive parents usually find a new target once the old target is gone. That's why social services started taking all children in a family when only one was being abused. They found that another child would be picked as the abuse victim. Comment 3, not the a-hole. When your mother redecorated your room and moved your sister into it, she basically told you that you don't have a place there anymore. You're just a storage space to her now, and she wants you there so you can hang the decorations, and so she doesn't look like a bad parent to relatives who stop by for the holidays. Time to consider what to do after school and plan on getting a job and a space of your own. You will be happier than moving back into a place that's not really yours anymore. OP says, the house belongs to us, but we just let our mom take charge. Most of my relatives stay far and we are not close. Plus, my mother never allows us to visit relatives on my father's side. Maybe her relatives who come once in a while, but we are not close. And that is the end of that story. And it really does sound like your mom has like a weird, like, fixation on your dad's influence in the family and like the emotional connection there. Excluding you from his side of the family seems weird to me.
Yeah. I don't know. She just seems very controlling. And she's pushing away everyone.
Yeah. So honestly, I don't know what the legal process would be like, but if you really are saying that that's not her house and it's yours, maybe do the legal fight if you can afford it. If you think it's like a slam dunk, open and shut, clearly on paper, the rights to the house belong to us, the children. I would do it.
I do think though OP wouldn't want to do that because of Kathy.
Why?
Well, because she would want Kathy's still under,
Kathy
you
would,
know,
yes,
still
right,
under
that's right.
her
Kathy's
mom's
10.
care. Yeah.
So probably
10. I was like, well,
okay.
Yeah.
Good point.
Might be a little tricky.
Good catch, Sophia.
But once Kathy's 18, take that house.
Yeah. And
Okay.
definitely still keep in contact with her and like your siblings. Like create bonds there that are
Don't let
strong.
your mother tear you apart.
Exactly. But that is the end of that story and the end of this episode. So we're going to have to tear apart from you right now. But if you love us, make sure you subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow.